Greetings and welcome to the weekly edition of the Safe Crypto Show. I am your host, Tyler Jordan, with co-hosts Mike and Jason. Each episode attempts to cover a range of topics, beginning with a global market cap review and a look at the past week's movers and shakers. Next, a discussion of general crypto news and happenings. Then we consider new and interesting projects and ICOs, all followed by a brief discussion of the weekly tech update by MAIDSAFE. Let's get started with the show. Safe Crypto Show disclaimer. Please keep in mind at all times that we, the hosts and guests of the Safe Crypto Show, are not offering or giving investment advice. We only state our personal opinions and thoughts on our own interests. By watching, you agree to not hold us responsible for any losses you may incur by executing trades or by maintaining holds based upon the subjects discussed in our episodes. It is Friday, the 13th of April, 2018. Today I'm joined by my co-host Mike, so let's begin. Welcome, Mike. Thanks for joining the show today.
It's a happy Friday the 13th here.
Yes. Well, Friday the 13th typically being unlucky, I guess
We'll have to see.
It seems like it's not, because the crypto markets are well in the green today and looking quite good, quite refreshed.
Yes. We like seeing the market cap back over 300 billion. I'm showing 308 at the moment. Hit refresh and see if it stays there. It's at 310.
Yeah. I've got 310. Yep.
So
Bitcoin dominance at 42.6%.
Yeah, it's gone from about 45 from last week, as I recall. But yeah, it looks like this week we were staying above the 250 psychological support there, and like you said, the dominance at 42.6 instead of the 45. So some alt currencies are getting some love. That's good. Getting some attention on those, and hopefully
and yet Bitcoin is
still going up,
pumping too. So yeah, I guess that sounds like some fiat is being converted.
That's a good thing. Here in America,
like
the April the 15th, or actually April 17th this year, is tax day, and a lot of the other YouTubers have gone and said that they expect to see a significant jump after tax day in America, and we'll have to see if that comes to pass. That'll be for next week's show, though.
Well, it could be that this is, some people have already done their taxes and are now finished with that. And
yeah, mine are usually done in February, so I've had mine done for over a month now. So get that taken care of early, get my money back.
Well, let's look at the global market capitalizations here. Just refresh that page a bit. Go to the 7-day chart. So that's looking really nice. We began last week at around 256, and we are now just off a high of 316. So yeah, that's a nice. Well, actually, it's a bit of a rapid expansion there. Yes, it's a bit of a cool wind in the face.
Definitely.
Anyway.
Yes. Keep going until it's 10 times what it is now. Yay! $3 trillion.
I do worry about how quickly it goes up, because if it goes up too fast, there tends to be a lot of profit taking, and it goes back down, and people get disappointed again. But I like to see a nice steady increase, but I think it tends to be a series of ups and downs that slowly move up. But the trend line is still, exponential. And as far as I can tell, we haven't broken the long-term trend line, the really long-term trend line. So we are still going quite well, even though we had that big drop in the last few months. All right, let's have a look at Blocktivity. Ethereum is, let me just refresh there. That doesn't.
Yeah, Ethereum is redlined again.
Automatically.
And it is at 8804.
Oh, yes, there we go. Yeah, it's
8804 overflow.
311 unconfirmed transactions. Bitcoin's at about 50%, 45. Ethereum Classic's up a bit. As we can see, though, Steam and BitShares with their distributed proof of stake system, hardly a scratch.
Yep, proof of stake, I think, is the strongest of all the methods for keeping track.
Ethereum keeps promising us a proof of stake, and longer term, and they have a difficulty bomb built into their proof of work algorithm that was supposed to make it what actually last year or so would have made it impossible to continue mining. But each time they do a major update, they keep adjusting, tweaking that difficulty bomb so that it can go out a few more years. So it's like they're a bit reluctant to implement the proof of stake. But I think with their next update, I'm not sure when that's going to happen, the Serenity update that's supposed to bring about the beginning of proof of stake in the Ethereum blockchain. So we'll see what happens, but they definitely need to move away from the proof of work if they're going to get past this point. I'm not sure if it's, if their proof of stake is going to be as good as BitShares and Steem or EOS in the future, but anything will be probably better than where they're at now. All right, let's get into our news segment then. We've got a few news stories today. The first ones I'm just going to plow through fairly quickly. Just interesting tidbits. So it says, title of this article from Cointelegraph is a bit misleading. It says, more than a bit, it says 3 more countries joined planned lawsuit against internet giants for banning crypto ads. Initially you think, wow, that sounds, some governments are involved, but no. No, as it says in the picture. Cryptocurrency and blockchain organizations in Switzerland, Kazakhstan, and Armenia have recently joined those in Russia, China, and South Korea in filing a joint lawsuit against major internet companies, that would be Google and Facebook and Twitter, for banning crypto-related advertising. Local Russian news outlet RNS reported Friday, April 6th. So the plan to file a joint lawsuit against tech giants Google, Twitter, and Facebook were first revealed on March 27th. The organizations originally filing the complaint include the Russian Association of Cryptocurrency and Blockchain, the Korean Venture Business Associations, and the LCBT, a Chinese Association of Crypto Investors. So I think this is interesting. We'll see what happens there. I think it's going to be a difficult push to see, maybe the change. Well, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see how that develops in the future, but I'm skeptical they're going to get anywhere with it, but I wish them luck.
Yeah, I'd just like to see the issue get resolved as far as for, the crypto ads and stuff. I mean, they're talking mostly about ICOs rather than actual cryptocurrency advertising and stuff. So that's a little bit of a smaller set of crypto ads. But, if you're banning one part of a thing, it's much easier to increase and encompass more. And, as far as for that, we can always just wait until MAIDSAFE gets out and then it doesn't matter. But
well, yeah, I mean, that to me, I think these companies are just shooting themselves in the foot with these bans. I think I said that in a previous show, but go ahead, quit, lock people out, and we'll just move to other platforms and other systems sooner rather than later. I've now set up a Minds.com account, and I've got a group on Minds.com now for the Safe Crypto Show. So we will also be on Minds.com in the future. Well, we are now, and we will continue to be in the future, rather. So please join us over on Minds.com and say goodbye to Facebook if you're so inclined. Our next article is from Zero Hedge. People trust Satoshi more than the Fed. ICE CEO refuses to rule out trading cryptos on the New York Stock Exchange. The article goes on. Pretty soon, the CBOE, that's the Chicago Board of Exchange, and the CME Group, the
Chicago
CME.
Mercantile Exchange.
Thank you, Mike. Might have competition when it comes to offering Bitcoin futures. During an interview with Bloomberg this week, Jeffrey Sprecher, the chief executive of ICE, the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, refused to rule out offering derivatives for digital currencies like Bitcoin. The reason? If people are willing to trust an anonymous individual or group of individuals named Satoshi Nakamoto more than they trust central banks, then this probably isn't a trend that a major financial services company can afford to ignore. It's a great quote in there.
And
there is a trend.
And for me, it's not that if they trust this more than the central banks. I trust math more than I trust people. Math doesn't change; people do. So it's not about the organization. Whether it's the Boy Scouts or whether it's the Bar Association or whether it's the Federal Reserve. I don't trust people. People are the wind. They're mercurial. They change their mind.
Yeah,
They are not
we all do.
consistent.
I mean,
Math math isn't.
it's not
Math is
other
always
people
the
as,
same.
yeah,
Well,
that's right.
I guess unless you're talking about Common Core, in which case then math is different than it originally was 2,000 years ago. But that's the problem of the people here in the United States. And if you're not in the
Yes, well,
United States, don't have to worry about Common Core. Consider yourself
that's
lucky.
people's influence on math.
Yeah, they're trying to redefine and redo math, and it's failing horribly. Kids are confused. It's bad. But yeah, as far as for that, I trust the math behind crypto way more than any Federal Reserve, Bank of
It
Thieves, Den of
it just
Vipers.
makes sense, doesn't it? And I
Yes.
think where the rational people go, the irrational people will eventually follow. So
Yep.
hopefully that's going to happen, and we'll see more and more cryptos listed on big exchanges like that. That would be awesome news for us.
You hear that, Neo? That is the sound of inevitability. Go a little bit Matrix on us there, but
Yeah.
it seems appropriate. So.
Yep. Our next article, Japan self-regulatory group study reveals 3.5 million active crypto investors. This follows, I guess, with our continued reporting and covering of the issue of adoption, crypto adoption. And I like to check out these studies and see what they have to say for us.
I would actually
Japan delivered.
I'd actually like to see the the numbers for all the different countries. If those numbers were available for other countries, it'd be interesting to see how many active crypto investors, say Korea has, China, Russia, United States, other locations around the world. It'd really be interesting to see where is crypto actively being adopted. Who is adopting it first? Who are the front runners in the adoption? In the adoption foot race, so to speak, and see who's going to be the rich country when crypto hits its stride, because that could be a way for poorer countries to turn things around and get out from under the thumb of the central banks that were referenced in the previous article. And that's something
Yep.
that I bet a lot of countries would be like, we don't need your loans. We have our own currency, and it's very difficult to get a hold of. Everybody here is rich now, and we don't need your fiat currency. So hopefully those countries that decide to do that have nuclear weapons to defend themselves with in case they get invaded. But
let's not go there. So the article, Japan delivered new statistics about cryptocurrency use on Tuesday, April 10th, as regulators and industry players push for greater transparency in the country's market. A report from Japan's self-regulatory body, the Japanese Cryptocurrency Business Association, JCBA, revealed at a meeting of a study group commissioned by the Financial Services Authority, analyzed various data from 17 major exchanges in 2017. The meeting was the first for the study group, which focuses specifically on issues related to the cryptocurrency exchange industry. Figures presented paid special attention to the giant rises in the volume attributed to cryptocurrency investment, Japan having risen to become the world's biggest trading market last year. Well, Japan is one of the most accepting markets for crypto there is now. There are companies there now that are paying their employees in crypto. One particularly large company, I can't remember its name at the moment, but yeah, it's very interesting, and we're seeing a lot of things happening in Japan. So this article, we'll just go on to the next one. So this is a follow-up as well. We've been following the Nano cryptocurrency, and we've also been following the hack that happened on BitGrail a while back. So this is a new article. Nano Foundation sponsors legal fund to provide BitGrail hack victims with representation. So the Nano Foundation has announced it will sponsor a legal fund to provide all victims of the hack of cryptocurrency exchange BitGrail with equal access to representation and pursue their legal interests associated with BitGrail's insolvency, according to a Nano Foundation blog post April 9th. In February, the Italy-based digital currency exchange BitGrail suffered a loss of one of its hosted tokens, Nano, and afterwards froze trading. The trading platform claimed that 17 million Nano had been stolen in the hack, amounting to about $187 million at the time the losses were detected. So, yeah, the Nano Foundation is stepping up to the plate. They're going to help with the legal fund, and that will hopefully provide more information about what actually happened there as well, and evidence discovery that will occur. And hopefully we'll see some resolution here for the people who were taken to the cleaners by someone. Either, well, we've discussed that ad nauseam, I suppose, in previous shows. I don't know if I want to get into it too much, but yeah, have a look at our previous shows in this issue, and if you had Nano, then especially if you had Nano on BitGrail, but know what's going on here. It might behoove you, if you lost Nano on BitGrail, to learn about what's going on here. You might be able to join a class action lawsuit as well. There is one underway. Our next article: Brazil's first crypto finance master's degree launches in, how do you pronounce that, Mike? Sao Paulo?
Sao Paulo, yeah.
Sao Paulo? Sao
Yeah.
Paulo. Sao Paulo. I think that's Brazil. They speak Portuguese. I can do Spanish, Espanol fairly well, but I'm not very good with the Portuguese. All right, so this article I found interesting because what tends to happen. Well, I'll just read through it first. Major Brazilian university, Fundação Getúlio Vargas, FGV in Sao Paulo, is offering the country's first master's degree in crypto finance. Reported April 12th by Finance Magnates. The program offers specialized education for the crypto industry. Ricardo Rochman, the program's coordinator, explained, quote, "It is a market with a profound lack of people with expertise. Crypto finance has economic and financial fundamentals that are worth discussing, researching, and being taught." The FGV Masters program aligns with a wider movement in the Brazilian higher education system to embrace digital currencies and blockchain as part of their study programs. Neighboring University of Sao Paulo incorporated cryptocurrency studies into the derivatives unit of its Faculty of Economics and Administration last year. Professor Alan De Gennaro, who initiated the move, explained, quote, "Some issues have to be presented even though the student does not go to work in the finance market. People have to understand which factors are beneficial and which are not suitable regarding cryptocurrencies." Well, it goes on. I think what's important about this to me is the bigger picture. And with universities taking on a program like this, other universities are going to look at this and say, oh, well, we have to be competitive. This is a burgeoning market. There's lots of people involved. Lots of our students are involved, and their students are going to be attracted to this sort of thing. So I think we're seeing the tip of the iceberg here. I'm going to predict that in 2018 and 2019, we're going to see a host of universities adopting programs for teaching crypto finance and crypto innovation. I think it's going to become a huge thing, and that in and of itself is going to really cement crypto systems, crypto finance into the bedrock of our social institutions, which really is a huge, huge thing for long-term adoption. I can't understate that, I don't think. What do you think about this, Mike?
I keep going and saying, that we're at the, we're not at the bleeding edge anymore, but we're definitely at the beginning of the, the information getting out about this new world-changing technology. It's starting to become fairly well known. It hasn't been really adopted in mass, and we've discussed the hockey stick model of, what happens when, the information gets out and then the adoption lags behind that information. We're at the point now where, if you imagine a hockey stick, it curves and then starts going up, exponentially.
In adoption rates, yeah.
And the thing that I go and I look at is I listen to the occasional, and I'm going to go and call them uninformed. I would call them ignorant, but ignorant is one thing and uninformed is another. The uninformed people on the media that go and discuss crypto, and it's pretty obvious that they are absolutely clueless in the questions they ask.
They
and
have
what
the
they
illusion
say.
of knowledge instead of actual knowledge.
They're talking heads.
As Hawking would say.
They're talking heads, reading what they're been told or reading the questions they've been suggested to ask, and they aren't as knowledgeable as the guests that are on the show that they're trying to, make look bad or cast doubt on the new technology. Now, what we're seeing is that somebody goes and says that, oh, the Bitcoin is a bubble, Bitcoin is over, crypto is over. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you don't understand what you're talking about. because if you did, you wouldn't be saying these things. And when you see universities starting to offer master's degrees in this sort of stuff, the question comes to the forefront is, when will the people who are, you know, going and disparaging crypto in general, when are they going to get it? How much longer are you going to say these things that, this is going out, and it's there forever. It's on the internet. It's there forever, and it's going to come back and get you. You know, and it's, as far as for this, I can keep saying it over and over again, but relatively speaking, I'm nobody of significance, no one of consequence, and you know, it's just my opinion as an investor. And I think the basis of the investment advice that, I'm not giving advice, but the basis for my reasoning for why I'm placing my investments in this are sound. I've lived through several complete changes in technological revolutions, or evolutions, maybe not revolutions, but definitely evolutions. And this is acting the same as all those. And
I think this one's bigger in a lot of ways,
it's the
because
same as,
it's decentralizing in a really fundamental way. The internet decentralized some things and opened up new opportunities, but it wasn't fundamentally decentralized. Our existing internet is still very centralized.
well, it decentralized it. The internet decentralized information. You no longer had to go to the centralized library where they collect up all the information. You didn't have to go to a library to find what it was that you were looking for a lot of
Well,
different information. It took time
technically,
for
it
it to
didn't
get there.
decentralize it. It gave much more access. It gave
Yeah,
access to a lot of people, and it opened up access in a big way. But it's still centralized. I mean, Wikipedia, which is, a collaborative effort from millions of people across the globe, is still on Wikipedia servers and is still subject to being shut down. And so it's constantly, and these sort of things lead to this self-censorship that has to happen, because if you start talking about certain things in certain places, against certain people, then you end up locked in a little place in, like, the UK, where you got to sit in the Ecuadorian embassy for the rest of your life with no access to anything, as basically a prisoner. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So what we have with real decentralization that SafeNet is bringing, but blockchain has brought too. Blockchain has done it for certain aspects of information and data, but SafeNet intends to bring decentralization for all data in a very fundamental, hardcore way. And once we have that, then that really is a game changer for society in a way the internet couldn't be by itself. So I see it is an evolution, but it's like a difference between a paw without thumbs and a hand with thumbs. It's
yeah.
just it's just a huge difference in what you're capable of doing at that point. And I think it's really going to blow the doors off our society in a big way. Anyway, back to this article. I think what it's doing here is it's laying the foundation. So once we get more social acceptance, then that hockey stick of
Yeah,
adoption, that's when it can really kick into gear. And when people start walking out with degrees in cryptocurrency finance and getting into big finance institutions, and I mean, these are the younger kids too, the next generation, who are getting these degrees. So they're going to start over the next 10, 20 years. This is changing everything. So
hmm,
this is really opening it up, and I don't see how any government can stop it once it starts to creep in this degree, in this manner. So um, I just I'm just so happy to see this sort of thing happening. It's
I
really
think it's cool too.
amazing to me.
Definitely cool.
All right, our last article, fintech startup report concludes Bitcoin is generally permissible under Sharia law. Now, I don't like to talk so much about religions or that sort of thing, but I just wanted to put this article in here because I think it's going to be a big news for the crypto markets in the short run. There's a lot of money in the Muslim communities around the world, really a huge amount. We're talking, I can't tell you what the
Nation's
numbers
worth.
are, but yeah, large amounts of capital. And they've been very reluctant to put their money into cryptocurrencies because previous to this, there have been a lot of negative things said by different Muslim leaders about crypto. and they hadn't had any clear guidance. And Muslims tend to be pretty strict about following the guidance given by their leaders. And this report basically has been done by, I'll just read through the first couple paragraphs here. Blossom Finance, a fintech startup based in Indonesia, has released a report by their internal Sharia advisor that concludes that Bitcoin is generally permissible under Sharia law, according to a press release published Thursday, April 12th. In late February, Cointelegraph also published a story on whether Bitcoin was halal, including information from Blossom Finance CEO and founder Matthew J. Martin, also interviewed by Cointelegraph in 2015. He told Cointelegraph that not only is Bitcoin halal, it may be even more halal than fiat currencies due to it being based on proof of work rather than on debt. Well, that's a key thing there, because Islam is very, very much against debt-based stuff. Blossom's report, dated April 5th, is titled "Is Bitcoin Halal or Haram? A Sharia Analysis," and written by Muhammad Ubu Baker, a certified mufti, let me get that great, a certified mufti, a Muslim legal expert, as well as Haziz, having successfully memorized the Quran in 2002. Anyway, they go on to say here that earlier today, Bitcoin's price rose by more than 1,000 in 30 minutes, a jump that could be attributed to an increase in Muslim crypto traders since the report's release today. And this article is today's article. We do articles from the previous week, but also including today. And this one happens to have come out today. So it may be partly responsible. I mean, I don't know. There could be a lot of reasons why the crypto market is going green, but this could be a part of it. So he goes on to explain why he thinks that it is acceptable, and I recommend people read that if they're interested. I think this is really big news, because there's so much money in the Muslim world, and if it turns around and people start, the leaders of the Muslim community start saying that it is a good thing, then we can really see a lot more capital, a lot more adoption flowing into the crypto scene. And I don't personally care where that adoption comes from, because it is a decentralized marketplace. Whether you agree or disagree with Islam or Sharia law or any of that is irrelevant in this instance, in my opinion, because it's really about adoption and getting people into a decentralized system. And when when the Safe network gets launched, we can see a lot of people going into there, and that really opening up free speech, and that would be good for any religion, any people, anywhere. And I just want to see that adoption happen, because it's good for individuals and for free speech. So ultimately, this is a really great news. All right.
Be interesting to see.
Yes. Our last topic of the week, the MAIDSAFE weekly update. It's very short this week. There's 2 points. Point number one, highlight number one, the marketing team have been consumed with preparations for a SAFE developer conference, SAFE DevCon in 2018, during the last week. As mentioned yesterday, I haven't read that, we may be able to squeeze in another couple of people at the last moment. So if you're interested in joining the conference, contact Doug Campbell here on the forum or by email, doug.campbell@maidsafe.net. And highlight number two, during the last week, the Safe Client Libs library team has been continuing to improve the language bindings. Java, C#, and C remain our top priorities. Generally, the language bindings are getting close to production. The only missing part is full support for the C language in Safe BindGen, which is almost done. So that's great. So once they've got those bindings done, then they'll probably be updating them forever as they continue to. I don't know. I'm not that technically informed, but having them done up to snuff for now is good, because then people can start building apps and things in those languages that can then talk to the MaidSafe network. The Safe network. MaidSafe is the company that makes that. Sorry, I'm having a bad day with words. Should have slept in. So I'll just, since that was so short, I'm going to go into the marketing a bit here, the update a bit more in detail. Safe DevCon 2018. The marketing team have been consumed with preparations for the Safe DevCon during the last week. A never-ending stream of emails, conversations, orders, hoodies, etc. However, all is shaping up very nicely for the big day. For everyone that's coming to Air Scotland on Sunday, the 22nd of April, for the event on Monday, the 23rd of April, you will receive an email tomorrow with further details of your hotel booking and transport arrangements for the day. Oh, I so wish I could go. Maybe in coming years I will be able to make it. As mentioned yesterday, we may be able to squeeze in another couple of people at the last moment, so if you're interested in joining, contact Doug Campbell. You'll get a couple of nights accommodation and food. Most importantly, you'll get to meet some of the community face-to-face. We have also been preparing for having most of the team in one place at our headquarters in Air. The weekend preceding the DevCon, the weekend represents a rare opportunity for everyone to get to know each other a little better during the couple of days of work and play. For many, this will be the first time they have met, so getting this fresh perspective will not only be enjoyable, but will help maintain the company culture that can be difficult to instill in teams as decentralized as ours. A few of the guys are taking extended stays, so this face-to-face communication will also enable in-depth discussions on technical solutions. Also this week, there were some interviews. Nick Lambert, the COO of MAIDSAFE, was a guest on Declare Your Independence radio show with Ernest Hancock late last week. And now, MAIDSAFE has had many interviews with Ernest Hancock in the past, so this is a follow-on, and it'll be good. I haven't watched that one yet. I'm going to be watching that after we're done with the show today. Sarah Pentland was also interviewed by a popular YouTuber, the Crypto Lark, earlier this week. So keep your eyes open for that interview going live very soon. So the rest of this is technical updates with the Safe Authenticator and API. I'm not going to read over those, but please check the link in the show notes if you want more details on that. So that's all we have for today. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Mike? Any thoughts?
No, I think we got it covered.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today, folks. I'd like to thank both our viewers and my co-host for joining me today. We hope you found the episode informative and helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share our video with others. And tune in next week for another interesting episode. Oh, and don't forget to smash the bell button.
Like and subscribe.
All right. Take care. Bye.